On this episode of the Procedurally Generated Show, Tony fights streets, Ethan goes old school, and Cole makes his triumphant return. Well, howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Procedurally Generated Show. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me this week, I've got Ethan.
What up?
Not much. What are you having for dinner?
Chicken tenders or something from KFC.
That's a pretty good choice.
Yeah.
I had a double cheeseburger from Sonic for dinner today.
Ooh, Sonic.
And I had a huge delivery of drywall delivered to the house.
That doesn't taste as delicious.
No, it really doesn't. It's pretty,
Was it drywall or was it sheetrock?
Well, it's basically the same thing.
Yes, I think I read your Twitter.
So, yeah, that's my project starting tomorrow is putting drywall up in the second floor of the garage so that we can turn that into a living space.
Cool.
So that will be very fun. Can you tell I'm very excited about it?
I can hear all the excitement in there.
And, Ethan, Cole makes his triumphant return. He's back.
On all the things that I would have thought I would talk about on a video game podcast, the difference between sheetrock and drywall was not one of them.
Well, when you got somebody who's just bought a 100-year-old house and they've got a lot of things that need to be fixed in said 100-year-old house.
You are taking Luigi's Mansion to like a whole new level.
I have
feel like that.
I've run a vacuum in this house many times. I have not found any ghosts.
They're like cats. You can turn the vacuum on, they run for their lives. They know you have a vacuum, so they're not coming in there.
Dude, my cat is terrified of the broom. I picked up the broom today, and the cat took off like it was being chased by a dog.
Weird.
So,
might have been some trauma from before.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. This is a cat of the streets, so...
Street cat.
It is a street cat, a promiscuous street cat. That's what I call her.
Oh, a cat of the night.
Yeah, the kittens are 3.5 weeks old now. They're starting to roam around a little bit more.
That's cool.
They'll be flying all on their own.
If my cats start flying, I'm going to be a little worried. We do have one animal in the house that could, in theory, fly. I think its wings have been clipped. So the feathers have to grow back. But, yeah, so if the bird starts flying, that's okay. If the cats start flying, I'm going to ask questions.
I mean, it was a cat waiting outside of a 100-year-old house.
That is true. That's very true. So
if the cat starts flying, just call science.
I'm calling the news station and figuring out how I can make a lot of money off owning a flying cat.
How would you even go about calling science?
I don't know.
I have several questions.
Alexa, what's the phone number for science?
The phone number for Sears, located on South Drive in Tulsa.
Alexa, stop.
I think your information might be outdated. I haven't heard of a Sears Roebuck in years.
Yeah, I don't. I wasn't even paying attention. I don't know where the closest Sears to here. I mean, Sears does exist because we've had to call a couple of times to have the.
It heard you again. It was calling Sears.
We've called to take advantage of the home warranty we have and have a couple of appliances fixed, and they send somebody from Sears out. So I know there's a Sears somewhere around here. I just don't know where.
Fair enough.
So, well, we could talk about my 100-year-old house, or we could talk about some video games. Cole, I know you've been like neck deep in Destiny.
Oh, very much so. I think it was 2 weeks ago. the Guardian games kicked off again. It's a new Guardian tradition started by Commander Zavala, in which case the hunters show off how many there are of us and how much we play the game. And then the devs are like, okay, hey, how can we make it where it's fair for the other classes? And so this week's, we'll see how we can fix it, is much better than last year's, which literally happened after day one. Uh, Last year it was a day one fix. This year they're like, we'll let them do it for like a week, and then what's gonna happen is once the first week has a winner, there will be a bonus to your position. So if you're in first place, your laurels are worth the same amount. If you're in second place, you get a 5% increase towards your laurels. And in third place, you get a 10% increase. And every week that you're not in first place, it's going to go up again. So if by, well, if by, it's already that way. So starting now, since it's week 3 technically for the games, because they do it 5-day weeks. Once the weekend's over, Titans should have technically a 20% increase. Warlocks should have a 10% increase. The Warlocks have been really benefiting off the 5% increase that they had, because they've won 3 of the 10 days.
They've
11
won
days?
3 days at least out of
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, so the thing is starting to help a lot.
Well, I guess I should play some more Hunters so we can get those numbers back up.
Yeah, you can try. Whenever I got on there this morning,
And
Titans were like just underneath Hunters, and
Uh-huh.
Warlocks were like dirt bottom. Rock bottom. Dirt bottom. I don't know why I said dirt.
so they were really low on there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could be a Titan strategy. I don't know. I've gotten all my triumphs done. The only one that hasn't is one that is either stupid or bugged. And I don't even know, like, I don't think there's a title for the Guardian games. I don't think that there's like anything spectacular, but for some reason I've been working on the Guardians game week after week. Because it's just kind of fun. I also tried yesterday. I finally started. I was like, all right, I'm definitely high enough to do this. See if I can LFG a group for the Grandmaster Nightfalls. We managed to, like, I started kind of late, but I got to run 2 attempts
Mm-hmm.
on the arms dealer strike. They both lasted about an hour, almost.
How
More
far
or
did you
so.
get within the hour?
So the first time we got to, oh gosh, actually I think we did like 3 or 4 attempts, because it basically, an attempt is once everyone dies,
Mhm.
it kicks you to orbit. So that's the
Right.
attempt. I think we had like 1 or 2 times where we accidentally all died, and then the 2 serious attempts. The first time we got all the way to the tank, the elevator with the tanks.
Okay. Yeah.
So we got a
God,
decent
that room.
amount. It goes like, the strike goes really slow, and they know as the grandmaster it's going to take a long time, because normally on a nightfall strike you have 15 minutes, and then you start dropping points, and then at like 20 minutes you lose all your revives.
Right.
Grandmaster we were at 25-35 minutes, and we were down to 2.5. So it was like you literally get to like 45-55 minutes, and it's like darkness is encroaching. Like, I've almost put an hour into 1 strike, and it's just now like, all right, you're gonna run out of revives. And we actually so the first time we got to the elevator, we all died, and then the second time, I'm the only reason we got past the elevator, because I would hide under the elevator the the room with the elevator has but I think it's 4, but it might be 6. 4 to 6 um of the champions.
Oh
They're incinerator
gosh.
ones with the
Yeah.
unstoppable mod. So it's like one guy had unstoppable I think it was a SMG. So he's using an SMG to stagger him. And then I have my melee staggers him, but I don't get my melee back. Like, it's just a normal melee speed, so it's not very helpful.
Okay.
It's a good way to get away from one of them. But I mean, we got through that like just because I was hiding under the elevator, so the tank couldn't kill me while the other guy. We worked on the champions, and that time we got to the very end. We ran out of revives right before darkness would have took our revives. So one of the guys died. So it's me and this other guy trying to take down the last third of his health, and then we both just died. And I'm like, okay, well it's 12:30 or it's almost 12. I have to work at 6 or 7. No, I don't wake at 7, but I have to wake up at like 6 or 7 in the morning. I'm gonna have to call it quits for the night. And then I was like, I'll jump on tomorrow if I get a chance, forgetting that I worked late tonight. So I was like,
Oh gosh.
so I might try some more again after this. I don't know. It's kind of late, but it's Destiny. It's still good. There's lots of fun stuff coming to it. Season's over in 9 days, so it's my last. It's my last chance trying to try to get the Nightfall title. I already have the pin, because I got a code, but I'd like to actually have the title. And since literally all I have to do is 3 Nightfalls, and well, I have to do three different Nightfalls, and then I have to do the beat a Nightfall in each element. That's all I need for the title. So
Nice.
hopefully I can get that. Not much else to do. Go for flawless. Do some raids.
You got a little bit of stuff left to do.
The real question is, are
So-
you going to order that jacket?
I don't think so. So the Guardian Games jacket is like kind of like a tracksuit. It's a very it's a
You might
light
get it
jacket.
just in time to keep it warm during the snowy winter.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I don't think I'd get it because I'm I'm kind of in this state of fluctuating weights where if I buy it and it's gonna be fit me now, if I lose some, it's gonna be way too big, or if I buy it thinking I'm gonna lose weight,
And
I
then never
probably
do.
won't. I'll never have weight, and so it'll just be
Been
like
there,
this
done
weird.
that.
It'll be this weird like shadow box thing, like I'm trying to remember my high school days or something. So I don't think it will. I definitely will get the if the hunters win, because the only pin that comes out is the one who wins. It's from what I understand. I don't really understand why they would not sell the other class pins, but maybe they do like a gold one for the winner and a silver one for the second place, and a participation ribby for the third. But yeah, I'm gonna buy the pin. I'll buy the pin. I won't buy the jacket.
Okay, that's fair.
And it's not a money thing, because goodness, I bought the raid jacket. We all did.
I didn't.
You
Well,
didn't
don't
do
worry,
the
Tony.
raid.
Don't worry. When we get a week 1 clear on this next raid,
We didn't even clear it within the first week, and they still let us get the jacket.
That was a bug.
Yeah, now they're paying for it, and that's why we're still waiting for jackets.
Yeah, but so all of their stuff takes forever. All the pre-orders,
I'm very aware. Yes.
I've got 20 of like 30, I want to say, almost. Like, I'm still waiting on lots of title pins that I don't even know. Like, I'll get on and I'll be like, okay, what is the current one? All right, I have like 8. I don't have like 6 of these. Still waiting on that.
Yeah.
What are the old ones? All right, I'm waiting on 1 more. And every time, and it's like, I'll move and then be like, okay, I'm expecting a pin. I don't know if you still have when I ordered this a year ago, I don't know if you guys have my old address or my new one, but I wanted to make sure to update it. And the people at the Bungie store are always great. They're like, "Yeah, we'll update it for you. This is what we showed. This is what you got." Okay.
All right. Well, anything else for Destiny?
No, not really.
All right. What about you, Ethan? I know you got a very nice package in the mail this week.
Well, I started on this Destiny 2 Guardians game stuff this week as well, working with Cole.
Hmm.
Dude, we didn't even play together this week, did we?
No.
Gosh. So, yeah, I actually did, like, nothing this week on there other than my usual farming for equipment. So that's what I did on Destiny. But what Tony's, talking about is the Neo Geo MVSX that I talked about, I think, last week, that I ordered it. And
I
then,
think-
I get it.
I think
I
so,
get it
yeah.
now. Yeah. Okay.
so, let's see. I think it was Tuesday that I got the first part of it in. It was the bottom half, so
Yeah, I
got
think so.
got that all assembled that day. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm gonna set this out right here, and then wait for them to ship the other part. And I was thinking that it's not gonna ship for a while, and then I was supposed to have it Wednesday, and no one was here to sign for it, so I got it Thursday, and I have the full package all assembled. I think I posted pictures to the Facebook group
You did.
I believe so.
and maybe
Yeah, that's what.
Twitter. I don't
That's
know.
why at first when I saw that, I was like, I don't know what this is. I don't understand what you're talking about. And then when you were talking about the stuff you got earlier this week in Facebook, okay, now I know what this is.
So yeah, this thing is just a pretty nice little Neo Geo arcade cabinet with 50 Neo Geo games installed on it. Really, it's similar to the One Up arcades, I guess, but this one's like probably. I think this is a different company.
I think so. It's about that size, though. It looks like.
Yeah, and the thing that bothers me is this thing is top heavy.
Is it really?
Yeah, so it's like if picking it up, it's like whoever carries it, it's like, let's be careful with that top half. Actually, I'd probably just start disassembling the bottom part and just so I can disconnect the top part from it and carry that separately. It would make way more sense for that if I ever move it. But this thing's kind of nice. I mean, having my own little arcade at home that I can play on. And it's Neo Geo, so it's like quality products there. Or quality games, not products. Well, you know what I mean, right?
Yes, I do.
Bunch of quality games that probably a lot of people have never played before. Because they're
It's
way too expensive, that's why.
So, you have you have some Neo Geo like actual arcade stuff too, right?
Yes, I do.
I thought so.
And I also have the home console version of the arcade cabinet. So I have the advanced entertainment system. I also have a consoleized version of the console or the arcade motherboard, so it works like an a home console. And then I also have the I'm gonna call it the emulator bar top arcade. So yeah, I kind of have like best of all worlds here.
It does seem like it. I'm still looking every day. I go to Walmart and look for those arcade one-up machines.
Looking
Like,
for that $50 mark, right?
I want one of them. I don't at this point. Whichever one they have at this Walmart, if it goes to $50, I'm getting it because I keep seeing those things. And I saw your arcade machine. I'm like, I want an arcade machine. I don't care. Just give me one. It doesn't matter which one.
What I really like about this is, like, as far as I know, all the games on here, they're just 4 buttons. Some of them use less than 4. That's fine. But this uses 6 buttons on the arcade stuff, so I thought that was a little weird. So I have I don't know if two of the buttons are used or anything since they're just white. But
I don't
I
know
mean,
what those would be
with
for.
the help of modding and stuff, I could probably play other things on there that would use all six.
Hmm.
There's a USB port on the back. Not sure what it's used for yet. Probably for easy modding purposes, I would imagine. Because
Maybe.
they knew people were going to take it apart, so like, instead of voiding warranty like that, let's just give them a port to access it.
Yeah.
Can't prove it, but can't argue it either.
It's good that they're doing that, and they're going to make it somewhat easy for people to be able to mod it. Because I
Also,
think that
Hmm?
in the end, that would save them a lot of trouble, a lot of bad customer service, and their customers can do whatever they want with the machine once they get it home.
right? Or it's probably like a firmware update thing you can do at some point. I don't know. One thing I have learned playing through some of the games on here, Metal Slug is a very unforgiving game. Very, very unforgiving. Unless you had the quarters to do so.
Oh yeah, it definitely was in that same vein of Contra. I think it may actually be a little tougher than Contra.
Oh, it's definitely tougher than Contra. Uh, Fighting games, I'm still not very good at those. And Shock Troopers is just kind of a bad game.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it. That's just me speaking, though. I can't speak for everyone, though.
I'm sure there's probably somebody out there that really likes it.
I'm sure I'm sure there is. But yeah, $500 and you can have your own SNK Neo Geo MVSX home system.
And for about $100 more, you can throw a Raspberry Pi in there.
Yeah. Well, actually, I don't think you even need to do that. Not sure. I haven't looked into the modding on here. I tried to, and it didn't go anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that seems pretty cool. Like I seriously do want to get an arcade machine. Now that I've got all of the shelves I need in this game room, I've discovered I do have a little bit of extra space, so I could squeeze an arcade machine in here somewhere.
Yeah,
I just need
they're really not that wide on here.
I just need to get one.
But I mean, they are small enough. Like if you have a friend over or you're playing with your son, you are going to be like right up against each other, hitting buttons and stuff on there.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah,
personally, I prefer space between everything.
that's one of the things with like the 4-player machines is they have to make sure that you've got space for everybody to fit around it. Otherwise, it's useless to have a 4-player machine.
I still want to get that Turtles in Time arcade cabinet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I would love to have one of those. I would love to have that, or an NFL Blitz machine would be really good too.
Oh, I have that Carnival arcade. I have the actual Carnival arcade cabinet,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird to me because the first time I ever saw that game or cabinet, it's not the one that I own. The first one I saw was actually a 3-player cabinet. So players one and the players on the end, they would have handguns shooting stuff, and the player in the center got a shotgun.
Nice.
So a little confused how all that worked, but yeah.
Another one that I'd like to have is the old Ivan Stewart off-road racing machine. I want one of the stand-up ones, not one of the sit-down ones.
Okay.
Where you had to stand up to push the gas pedal and it had the steering wheel on it. Of course, I'd love to have a Luigi's Mansion machine, but there ain't no way that's fitting in here. And I don't have that kind of money. So, well, anything else for you?
No, that's it.
Okay. For me this week, it's mostly been finishing up everything, all of the boxes that I had in the game room that needed to be emptied. I got all those emptied. I think it was after the podcast last week that I built the new shelf for the Atari. And I got that set up and then realized very quickly that the Atari doesn't actually fit on the shelves of the shelf. So, because Ataris are very wide, and I thought when I looked at it, it had enough space, but it doesn't. So I have to set the Atari on top of the TV when it's not being used, and then put it in the floor if anybody wants to actually play on it. So,
Hey, can I interrupt you with a short news announcement?
okay.
Final Fantasy VII via eShop for $8 includes Yuffie DLC.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the old PC version.
Yeah, on the eShop. Sorry, I was going through Twitter.
Wouldn't that be nice if Final Fantasy VII Remake just shadow dropped on Switch?
That'd be crazy.
Wouldn't it? So yeah, I got that set up. Got the Wii U finally fully hooked up and connected to the internet. I had to go out and buy a new charging cable for that.
Right.
Because I had no way to connect it to the internet without being able to turn on the gamepad, and the gamepad was dead. I'm pretty confident in saying Nintendo is going to, within the next few days, announce that Metroid Prime Trilogy is coming to the Switch.
Because you just bought it.
Because I bought it for the Wii U this week. So everybody, you're welcome for that. You don't have to thank me when that announcement gets made. I just downloaded it digitally. I'm not paying the prices that people want for the physical version of the game.
Oh, no, of course not.
So, but yeah, I now own Metroid Prime. Every night this week, Jake and I have been playing Street Fighter 2 together.
Ooh.
Still. So, I am very bad at Street Fighter. It has not taken him long at all to get better at that game than I am. So, he's using Chun-Li and Dhalsim as his mains.
Okay.
Whereas I'm a Ken and Ryu kind of guy. But he's very quickly started to figure out, even with the, because I think I might have talked about it last week, the bad controls using the controllers on the Switch. And wanting to get a fight stick. We haven't gotten one of those yet, but he's starting to figure out the controls better this week. And because he's done that, he's overtaken my skill at Street Fighter. I've always been awful at fighting games. I've never been good at one, ever. So, it's mainly been Street Fighter for us around here this week. And
this is a Street Fighter only house.
Well, he asked about Mortal Kombat, but I don't have any way to actually play Mortal Kombat on anything. I looked. I don't on the Raspberry Pi. I don't have a Mortal Kombat game. There's none on the Xbox that I've got. I think Mortal Kombat 10 used to be on Game Pass, but it's not anymore.
It's on your Pi, I think.
It's not. I looked I looked through the Super Nintendo games. It might be on the Genesis thing. I didn't look through the Genesis games. But it is.
Just remind me later. I'll get you the ROM.
It is not on the Super Nintendo. So, and then Final Fantasy Fridays happened again this week. I played through another hour of Final Fantasy. Cole hopped into the stream for a little while.
Yeah, I saw you started on, like, Steam popped up with the thing saying you were doing it. I was like, oh, Tony's playing that.
Yep. I had. I was surprised.
I could not come by the stream. I was like, no, not again. Can't return to this.
I eventually, at one point, had 7 people in watching. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I was very surprised, and quite a few people with Cole and some others actually chatting with me. So that was fun.
Yeah, I think he got that 5 people chatting at the same time. Check mark for partner.
Nice.
So
I was happy when I got that by, begging everyone I know to come join in.
Everyone say something.
Jason's in there with like 2 different accounts to help.
Who'd have thought Final Fantasy 13 would be the one that finally got people in watching the stream for a little while? But yeah, that will continue. I enjoyed playing through that and chatting with people, and Final Fantasy Fridays will happen for a while at this point. So every Friday, sometime probably between 10 and 10:30, usually I'll start and play till about midnight.
Okay.
So, but that has really been it for me. Now that I have Metroid Prime, I may play through that a little bit because I've been wanting to play those games for a while. Final Fantasy 13 on Fridays, and then Street Fighter throughout the week. So, aside from that, not much else has been happening. So, let's take a quick break. We will come back and we will talk about the news. It's time for the news, and I guess this first story is a bit timely because we've been talking about a bunch of arcade stuff during the show already, and Capcom announced this week that they are bringing the Retro Classics game that they released on Switch a few weeks ago to other platforms, and it will be released on PS4, PC, and Xbox One on May 25th. So this is the game where you can, when you download it, it's a free download, and then you buy packs of arcade games. And I would assume when it launches on the other platforms, they'll do the same thing like they did on Switch, where when you download it, you'll get a copy of 1943 for free. And then you'll have to buy the rest of the games that you're playing.
They'll probably have like some incentive or something on there for you to get like one game free along with that.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think I ended up with 2 games. I think it was 1943, and then you could get, I think, Ghosts and Goblins for free during the first week.
Yeah, and I got into there right after that.
Yeah. So, it's a really, really good arcade package if you haven't checked it out, and you're interested in old Capcom arcade games, because they've got a lot of good ones.
They really do.
You can check that out at the end of the month, or you can check it out on Switch right now. So, I would assume it would probably at some point come to the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. I mean, you can play them on the new systems through backwards compatibility, but I would assume they'll get natively released on those systems as well at some point.
Cool.
So, also this week, Xbox announced, or Microsoft announced, the lineup for games with gold. And there are 4 games that are coming for that this month, and they are Armello, which will be available for the entire month. Dungeons 3, which I don't know that one.
It's the sequel to Dungeons 1 and 2.
Makes sense, since it has a 3 in the name. Maybe, or it could be one of those things where we just skipped the first 2, went straight to the third game because the first 2 were awful. And
Yeah, I didn't play Zombie Army 1, 2, or 3.
I didn't either. So,
Well, this could also actually be like Dungeons 6 if they're going with the Final Fantasy naming convention.
Also true. Yes, I hadn't thought about that. Which means Dungeons 2 would be a better game, but it would be the 4th game that they had released. That will be available from May 16th through June 15th. Lego Batman, the first game in that series, will be available for the first 2 weeks of May.
Is that the 360 backwards compatible one?
Yes.
Okay.
It is. And then Tropico 4 will be available from May 16th to May 31st.
And that'll probably be the other one.
I believe that is correct, yes. Let's see. Sony showed off a trailer, like a bunch of information this week about Ratchet and Clank. Did either of you guys watch that?
No, I meant to, but all I got from the internet was the name of a female wombat.
What was her name?
Rivet.
Rivet. That's fitting. I mean,
Very
it makes perfect
fitting, yeah.
sense. there was like a 16-minute gameplay demo that was released. I didn't actually watch the whole thing. The game looks really good. Like Ratchet and Clank is one of those series that on PlayStation is one of those that would really get me into getting a PS5 when the game comes out.
Okay.
Since we're not going to get any more knack games because the studio closed down.
Rip.
So let's see. I'm trying to see if there's any. I'm looking at a news story that talks about stuff that was shown off during the trailer. They showed off a lot of the power of the PS5, according to them, with the jumping through the rifts and stuff. And
Oh yeah, load time stuff that's not actually loading anything anymore.
yeah, which is impressive. Like when they first showed it off, I was like, that is incredible that they could do that. But
with the power of the PlayStation 5.
Yep. So the game just looks phenomenal. Like I need to go back and watch that full 16-minute video. I just watched the first few minutes of it. But do we know yet when the game is coming out? It's pretty soon, isn't it? June 11th.
Yeah, I was gonna say like end of May or June.
There is a collector's edition that will be out. It will be available for $80. It will include the game, 5 armor sets, a photo mode sticker pack, which I don't really know. I didn't see what all that is. It'll also have a digital soundtrack, a digital art book, and then a bunch of in-game materials that you'll be able to get with the collector's edition.
Very nice.
So the standard edition will be $70, which sounds like it's probably going to be the new base price for games on the PS5.
Yeah.
This is not the first game to release at that price point, so
Yeah, let's find one of those old 90s Sears catalogs and see what we were paying for Super Nintendo and Sega games.
Oh yeah.
Ugh.
Games have always been expensive, and if they were the price they're the price today that they were, equivalent back then, we'd be paying over $100 probably for them. So,
They start releasing fully developed games for $70, people can't complain as much. Versus the 50 to 60 price range, and we're getting games that aren't completely done.
Getting games with day one patches, tons of new content added that if you have the base game, it's pretty useless at this point.
Oh, here we can. They're just charging more because they want to make more money.
That's true.
They're still going to have unfinished games. They're still going to be doing the same mistakes they have been. It's not going to change.
Are you complaining about Destiny 2 right now? The game is free. The DLC is free.
Only on Game Pass.
The game itself, it's free. That's my bad Jerry Seinfeld. Thank you.
What are you doing? It's free.
One game that is not free is Among Us. You have to pay for that. Unless you're a Game Pass subscriber.
Or if you're on mobile.
That's true. That's true. It was during I think it was a state of play this week from PlayStation.
I think it was during the same.
I think it was during the Ratchet and Clank one.
Might have been. Should have been during that because the way that happened.
Yeah. They announced that Among Us will be coming to the PS4 and the PS5 later this year, and it will have an exclusive Ratchet and Clank skin, a hat that gives you the long back's ears, and you get a pet Clank.
Yep.
So, and of course, it will have crossplay and multiplayer with other platforms. So, your Xbox players can play with your Switch and your PC players and your Xbox players, and so forth. They didn't actually announce a release date yet, just that it will be out later this year. And I'm assuming, I think it's $5 on every platform that you have to pay for it on.
Probably.
So it would probably be $5 on the PS4 and PS5 as well. Cole, you're very interested in Destiny. Ethan,
That's
you
very
have
true.
been as well.
Some say it is so.
Are you guys excited for the return of the Vault of Glass?
Yeah, very much so.
So I would assume you guys probably know more about this than I do.
I heard it's a raid. Never been there myself.
I got everything from that raid but one thing, the exotic, because back in Destiny 1, rare drops were just
Rare.
that, rare. I mean, no, I'll be fair. Some of the raid drops in Destiny 2 are the exact same.
They really
Like
are.
how long it took to get Anarchy, how long it took to get Eyes of Tomorrow, stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah, some of
but
them are thrown out like candy, whereas the others, it's like, LOL, good luck.
yeah, yeah. So the first raid that they ever had, Vault of Glass, they're bringing it back in Destiny 2, and it looks like they have a date now,
May 22nd.
May 22nd. So 3 weeks from today, technically, I guess, maybe, I don't know. 3 weeks from today,
Near the end of this
that makes
month,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense because it'd be a Saturday. They always have the raids come out on a Friday, Saturday time, so that way the season comes out on Tuesday. You have 3 or 4 days to get your light up as much as possible, to get ready for it, and then it comes out. I did read a little bit about this before the show notes, because every time I get Destiny news on Facebook and Twitter and everything, and yeah, it's talking about so they haven't changed. They wanted to keep the original fill of the raid, so they kept like almost everything is the same. They've just tweaked little bits and stuff to
Mhm.
use the new content that they've got. So people who the raid, they don't want to make them feel alienated by you changed so much about this, but they want to make it still have that same feel. And they have a content. So for World's First this time, since we basically know how the raid works and stuff, it's not going to be like the normal World's First where you're going into it blind. You don't know how any of the encounters work or anything like that. So they got the contest mode, which is what they've done with all the raids lately, which is your light only matters to a certain point. So you're never going to be stronger than an encounter, regardless of what your light's at. So it's always going to be a challenge. The first team that beats the raid is not World's First, because then after you beat the raid on contest mode,
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating.
Extremely.
is like
Hey, he's back.
beat it with a raid, beat the raid with all warlocks, or beat a
Cole, you
raid.
disappeared there for a minute.
Oh yeah, that's what happens when I don't click the show too much. I have no idea where I cut out, but you have to. World's First is you got to beat it. Normally is how far back am I?
You were to be the world's first after you beat it in contest mode is where you disappeared.
Sorry. Okay, so World's First is not the people who beat it the first this time, because they already have a World's First on this. So this time you have to beat it in contest mode, which is the first week. You're weaker than everything, and then they have a list of special challenges or triumphs that you have to beat in order to be qualified for this. Stuff like nobody can die in an encounter, or a lot of times they have it where it's like everybody has to be a certain element, or you can't lose enlightenment, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll have to get the world's first is going to be the first team that beats the raid in the first week and beats all the challenges. Resurrected Vault, that's twice, including challenge mode. We'll get the custom raid to that. Yeah, just so yeah. So they have they came up with all these raid belts for the world's first. It's very world, or
WWE.
WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah, like wrestling belts. And I just read this. It'll be silver instead of gold. So world's first was gold. This is technically the second world's first on this. So they're gonna get silver.
Are these like cosmetics your character can wear, or?
No, these are physical belts. So
Oh, okay.
recently, yeah, they had a physical, like a champion, like a literal. It looks like it's a WWE kind of champion belt, and they had the world's first vault of glass. This one is silver because, like they said, it's you're technically second since someone's already beat the raid for the first time.
Yeah.
So it looks really cool. I'm looking at this picture on there, and it's supposed to pay tribute also to the people who beat it back in 2014 when Vault of Glass being the first raid in the Destiny games came out.
Are you going to be going for this?
World's first? No.
No.
No. I will be going for week 1 clear like I did for Deepstone Crypt, which arguably has been probably the easiest for week 1
Yeah.
out of all the old ones.
We could go and practice on the original Vault of Glass.
I mean,
It's not happening.
if the stuff would transfer, you know what? No. Yeah, we can do that because I have
The option is there. Yes, I know.
It's on. I have my Xbox game. I still have the files on my Xbox. Yeah, we can do that. I can't do it on PlayStation because
And I can't do it on
Cross-save.
Xbox.
and cross save didn't exist yet, so I don't have any of the equipment that I would need on.
All right, we have 21 days to get one of us up to correct light on one system or the other.
Oh no, the light is not the issue.
Gear.
The light isn't an issue because it's just a matter of so. This will be a little bit of a spoiler, but in Vault, like second encounter, the weapon you would use is Icebreaker. So it's a sniper rifle. It essentially had infinite ammo. What it does is it regenerates ammo over time. So you could only hold up to 6 rounds of the sniper rifle, but every, I want to say 7 seconds, that makes sense. Every 7 seconds you would generate a round of ammo. And so it became very important because one, it's an exotic sniper, so it's extra damage. Then your special slot, so it takes special energy ammo, even though you couldn't pick up ammo for it. And you can take as long as you need to be in between counters and stuff, sniping like really powerful guys and just working your way down. So you never had to worry about running out of ammo on a very powerful weapon. And I don't have that. I don't have that on PlayStation. So that changes the encounter a lot, and it changes a lot of the strategy.
Yeah.
Some of the things I'm looking forward to, I am absolutely taking Outbreak Perfected into Vault of Glass. I remember taking Outbreak Prime into Vault of Glass and being like, yes, the nanites are great. Now that it's perfected, it's like, yeah. And hopefully we'll get some pulse mod like anti-barrier or something next season. I don't know what the seasonal mods are going to be.
God, I hate every time they change that because I have to readjust everything.
Yeah, you're like, all right, I'm finally used to anti-barrier on a sniper. This is the best ever. All right, anti-barrier only on bows. And you're like, well, great. That's going to take forever.
So right now my anti-barrier is the scout rifle, and then I have a hand cannon for my my unstoppable.
Yep, same. Well, I have both anti-barriers just because
Right.
you gotta have them. And that's what I was.
Well,
using
I mean, just my standard setup is using those two things like that.
Yeah.
So my entire build's set with those in mind.
Yeah, but yeah, Vault of Glass, 3 weeks. I will. I'll be getting into checking with Bungie and through the Destiny, community to see if they're still planning on the raid when the raid comes out, whether that's going to be crossplay or not. Because if it's crossplay, we're already working on getting your light up. We can work on getting, Jason's light up. Work on getting Shannon's light up.
You, sir,
Like,
ask the impossible.
I will do the impossible. I love Destiny enough that I will grind.
Do
with
you
these
recall a person
Ever-
who pretty much paid for his entire raid team to join him?
No, I wasn't here for that.
Okay.
But I do believe it was you.
Yes.
and showing up, something about coffee, like showing up with a coffee at someone's doorstep or something like that.
Tony, was that? There were jokes about sending it to Shelby.
Yeah.
Eventually, I
think
just went over to his house one day, and, like when he wasn't in his game room, I went and snuck on the shelf, and then when I left, I was like, "Hey, go look at your shelf."
that would be
That happened. That was pretty good.
that's awesome.
Like, I really do wish they would get the crossplay stuff going so that I could, play on PC or whatever. Because it's a lot
Stadia.
easier to do that, or Stadia. Yeah, even that.
You know what? They're gonna get cross-play. I'm gonna find out that, it's 9 days, but they probably in 9 days there's an update and it's cross-play, and we'll be so excited to play on whatever system we want, having our group, our voice chat in Discord, and Stadia will be the only one that doesn't get cross-play.
Oh, that would be sad. Except I could get it on PC on Steam or whatever.
Can you cloud play that through Shadow?
Yes.
That's pretty good.
He'll just play it through Stadia.
Exactly.
I have options.
I'm gonna cross play it through Stadia, even though Stadia doesn't have it. It's gonna be technically it'll be my Xbox playing through Stadia. And that's what I do whenever I have to try to stream the Switch. Since I don't have a workaround, I just plug my Switch directly into the Xbox. Yeah.
I think with an update to the Edge browser recently, you can actually play Stadia games on your Xbox.
Oh, that's cool.
So, the problem is that the only place that I have all of the content for Destiny 2 is on the Xbox, because that's the only one that made the entire thing free.
Yeah, and this is going to be... actually, I don't even know. This might be... They haven't said anything about it, so I don't think it's going to be a new DLC. I think it's just going to be a content update.
Yeah, that would make sense.
I don't know. I have a season pass.
So, all right. People can look forward to that. I'm sure there will be plenty of talk about the Vault of Glass after it releases.
Yeah. This is gonna be good. I'm gonna get to take Ethan through this. Hopefully, I'm gonna get to take some other people through from the community through this.
Oh, we're taking Stuart.
Right. Hopefully, we can take Tony and Shannon, Izzy, and people that I haven't played the game with that listen to the podcast or are on the Facebook group that are secretly play Destiny 2 and just don't speak up.
There's got to be people out there.
Hopefully.
So.
I love raids, and taking you through the one that you got to do part of. You got to do part of, yes? No, you were talking about Crota.
No, we completed Crota.
Yeah.
I think Izzy joined us halfway through it because we couldn't do it without him.
Yeah. So this will be exciting. This is a fun one.
It's like I knew how to 4 or 5 man Crota, but the problem was getting to past that part where you need so many people, and so we just made do.
Oh, are you talking about the bridge encounter?
Yeah, not gonna say why since I don't want people to know why.
Okay.
It was all Tony's fault. Anyway. What?
I don't believe you took Tony in a raid.
I don't think he was with us either. I know Shannon was. Tony, were you with us for that?
I've done something. I'm pretty sure we did a raid together.
We did a strike together.
Maybe that's what it was.
We did a 4-man dungeon together. Remember that shit? Remember? Huh?
I do remember that.
Man, I missed the 4-man dungeon. That was fun.
Oh, movie of the week. So I don't ever talk about this. Destiny has like a movie of the week that they put out. They let the content creators everybody makes like these videos hoping to be movie of the week because you get a special emblem. Movie of the week this week was 12, and I think it's 12 minutes long, but it's 12 people encounters. So it starts off with Deepstone Crypt, and then they go back to what is the raid right before that one that's on the moon in the Black Garden?
Wait, which one's again?
Anyways.
What was it?
The movie is Deepstone. It's called 12, but the movie of the week it's literally just raid after encounter of 12 man groups. So it's like it shows like everybody's like doing the shoulder charge on Axis or the it's pretty good. You gotta check it out. I'll send you a link in a minute.
All right.
I still want to do that raid because that title's still available.
Which raid is it?
The one that you guys got the divinity from.
Oh, okay.
Garden.
Garden.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to step away for a minute. My daughter called, and when it's 11:53 at night and your daughter calls, you generally have to.
Something could be an emergency. Yeah.
No, it was literally, I'm just calling to bug you.
So, I knew you'd be awake right now. It's Saturday. It's late. You're doing the podcast or something right now.
Well, she forgot that I was recording the podcast. I said, is there anything important? I'm recording the podcast right now. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I forgot. So.
Would have been way better if she was calling just to interrupt you on the podcast. Because now I'm going to have to cut this out. And otherwise, I would have left it all in.
You can just leave it in.
Yeah, we'll find out.
It's fine. So, but is there any other Vault of Glass news to talk about?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, I guess then...
I could talk about Destiny all day.
I'm sure you probably could. You do like Destiny quite a bit.
A bit, yeah.
So, well, that will be the show for this week. So, thank you very much, Cole, for being here.
And thank you for getting your light high enough to do the raid in 21 days.
Yeah. Thanks, Ethan, for being here as well.
Thank you for being
Thanks,
here,
Ethan,
Tony.
Thanks for logging into my Destiny account and playing Destiny so I can get my light up. And
No. Don't thank me. Thank Cole.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, Cole.
That's what he does. He'll log into your account if you ask him to.
I'll give you my username and password. You can log into Destiny and play for me for a week, and there you go.
When you get your account back, you will have probably 2 or 3 titles.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the podcast. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can send us an email to procedurallygeneratedent@gmail.com or direct message us on Twitter at ProGenENT. Facebook users can join our Facebook group by searching for Procedurally Generated. You can subscribe to the audio version of the podcast by going to Podbean or by searching for us on whatever podcast app